What's going on? This is Ryan with Automatic Comics, and in this video you are going to see what I think are some pretty awesome comics. I'm not going over my total PC. What I'm going to be doing in this video is I figured since it's the start of the new year, I would go over the PC books that I added, so the personal collection books, the keeper books, whatever you want to call it, that I added in 2024. So I added 15 new PC books in 2024. Some of them I haven't shown on the channel, I don't think, but 15 new books in the PC. I also added one piece of original art. I'm not going to be showing that one here. That was the original art Harley Quinn piece by Jim Lee. Harley Quinn and Batman by Jim Lee. But got 15 books here. I'm just going to do them in alphabetical order because that was the easiest way to do it. So let's start getting into these. The first one here is one that I haven't shown on the channel yet, but I have talked about it. Talked about it either in a live stream or something when I won this book. And so this is one that I have been trying to add for quite a while. This is my favorite Superman cover. This is Action Comics number 13. This is the fourth cover appearance for Superman, and in my opinion, the best cover appearance of Superman. My favorite cover appearance of Superman. I really like the Art Deco vibe that you get with this one of the train, like the design of the train, Superman pushing back the train. It's just the stronger than a locomotive thing I think works perfectly, for this cover. And I like these early Action Comics that still have this kind of like diamond here with the 10 cents. Those ones I really like. They talked about that before. It changes to a circle somewhere up in the high 20s, and I like that diamond that they have here. But this is a 1.0, slightly brittle pages. It's complete, cover and first wrap, detached, first wrap completely split, and reattached to cover with tape. So it is a complete copy, which is what I am very happy with. It's a Universal blue label. There are not many of these out there as a Universal. I think it's like 35, something like that, as a Universal. So not many of these out there. Colors are actually pretty nice on this copy. It does have, the tape staining along the edge, but hey, there's only this many copies out there to have a complete Universal copy that actually doesn't present half bad. It doesn't have any big pieces missing out of or anything. Pretty happy about that. So this was I think this was probably the last PC book. Yeah, I think this was the last PC book that I added this year, and one that, like I said, I've been trying to get for a while, and they just do not come up for sale, especially not in Universal. All right. Now the next one, it's kind of a little bit of a cheat because it was on my PC last year, but I sold it, then I bought it back. And so I have shown this one. This is Black Cat Mystery, number 50, Lee Elias cover, 9.0 file copy. Super happy with this book. This book is just incredible in person. The colors are crazy, super clean book. It has really grown on me as one of the Lee Elias covers because I didn't really care for this one when I hadn't seen it in person. So it was a book that, there were other Lee Elias covers that I liked more. Then I got this one in person, and I really started to respect the level of detail that was in this cover. And the colors really, really pop on it. That's one thing that really, sets this one apart for me too. I like the black backgrounds in the pre-code horror books. So yeah, Black Cat Mystery, number 50, 9.0 file copy. Despite showing this one second, this is the most expensive book that is in here. But yeah, awesome book. Very happy to have it back in the collection. All right, now what you'll find out with me in the books that I collect, I tend to like to go for my PC, the books that I consider like the best covers for that artist. And so that's one of the things that I tend to go for. It's just I want what was that artist most well known for, and you can see that kind of back here too. I've got the Startling 49, the Bender cover by Alex Schomburg. Got the Seven Seas number 4 by Matt Baker, and then the Phantom Lady 17 by Matt Baker. So that's the type of stuff I really like to collect. And so same thing here with the Black Cat 50 with Lee Elias. The next one, we've got Blue Bolt number 105, and this is by L.B. Cole. And so L.B. Cole has a couple covers that are my favorites. One of them is Mask Comics number 1. That is my absolute favorite cover that he did. Number 2 is Blue Bolt number 105. Now this one, much more of the sci-fi vibe than some of the more horror stuff that you get with L.B. Cole for some of his other covers that I really like. But I like the kind of like the Griffin type character that's on here. You've got some of the good girl art. It's like a green alien good girl art cover. Just a lot of sci-fi. You've got the black background I've always talked about that I really like. And this is a 6.5. It's a very square, very square copy, which can be sometimes tough with this banner on the side. And 6.5 in this book is a very, very nice grade for this book. They do not come up for sale very often in this type of condition. I picked this one up from Jordy at Marveled Comics. So if you're looking for, rare books, Golden Age books, even newer books, modern, copper, bronze, he always has some great stuff up for sale. And I picked this one up from him just this last year. This was an earlier in the year pickup. I almost forgot that this was a 2024 book for me, but Blue Bolt number 105, new PC book, like the rest of these. But yeah, second favorite LB Cole cover. Now the next one here, man, this was one of the most exciting pickups for me this year. Just because it's not a book I ever really thought I'd be able to get. This is Detective Comics number 28. The second appearance of Batman. Now I know the first appearance of Batman, not in my price range, but I was able to pull off getting the second appearance of Batman. It is a complete copy, which is a big deal. So it's got, it's a 1.0, slightly brittle, and it's got a little piece, out of the corner up here and some, kind of like some rounding down in the corner down here. But overall, great looking copy. Like this is the type of book that I like with this kind of page quality where you don't really see any like chipping, like loose pieces on the inside or anything. That's why I say like with slightly brittle and brittle page books, it's definitely a book to book thing. CGC has a huge range when it comes to those page qualities. But I was very happy to pick this one up. Actually picked it up on an eBay auction. Crazy enough, eBay auction. So always got to keep your eyes open out there. You never know what you're going to find. But Detective Comics number 28, second appearance of Batman. 1.0 Universal. I think there's only like 11 Universal copies of this book, something like that. So super rare book, very tough to get. Very happy to have that one. And because we're going in alphabetical order, sticking with Batman, picked this one up. Detective Comics number 66, the first appearance of Two-Face. 2.5. It does have a little bigger piece out of the cover than what I normally like, but with the location of it, it really doesn't bother me all that much. If it had been like up here, kind of like taken out of the header, or like something where you couldn't see Robin or Batman, would have been a bigger deal. But kind of down along the bottom edge, and it blends in a little bit with that clock tower, the yellow. So it doesn't bother me nearly as much with this one. But major first appearance for a Batman villain. First appearance of Two-Face. He is not on the cover. He appears just a couple issues later on the cover there. But yeah, Detective Comics number 66, first appearance of Two-Face. All right, now sticking with that favorite covers for cover artists that I really like. Got another big book right here. This is Dynamic Comics number 8 by Gus Rica. There were 4 books that I wanted by Gus Rica. He has 4 covers that I really like. Punch 9, Punch 12, Dynamic 8, and Dynamic 11. And this is probably the toughest of those books to get. Does not come up for sale hardly ever. I've got a 3.0 off-white to white pages, so nice page quality on this one too. It has like this hole punch up here, and it's detached. This book is a single staple book. It will almost always be detached. It's almost detached on every copy that you see. Every once in a while, you come across one that isn't. There was at like New York Comic Con, there was like I think it was the Edgar Church maybe. It was like a 9-something copy, just an insane copy of this book. But this one presents really nice. Really nice colors, deep blacks, no fading or anything. Just a crazy cover with this guy melting with the candle. It's even got, if you see up close, it's got these little skulls in his eyes, which I always thought was really cool. But yeah, Dynamic Comics number 8 by Gus Rica. Definitely a tough book, and was very excited to be able to pick up this copy. All right, now moving on to Frank Frazetta. So here we have Famous Funnies number 213. My favorite cover by Frank Frazetta for Famous Funnies is actually 214. It's the Red Planet cover, but this one has really grown on me. It's one of those, again, that when I didn't have it in person, didn't like it quite as much, but then getting it in person, I think it's just something about it. I like the purple kind of background in the cover. It's got just this really cool, being monster on the back there, which from what I understand, was actually used as inspiration for Chewbacca in Star Wars, which is pretty cool. So Famous Funnies, number 213, 6.0, nice grade for this book, really nice colors on this copy, and just one of those great Frank Frazetta sci-fi covers from the Famous Funnies run from 209 to 216. 216. All right. Now, my favorite LB Cole cover. So I showed my second favorite LB Cole cover. Here is my favorite. This is Mask Comics #1. Another one of those that I forgot I added this year. I felt like it was the prior year, but I went back and checked. It was actually this year. Mask Comics #1. Some people like Mask Comics #2 more. I personally like Mask Comics #1 more. Love the black background. I like my understanding is that they're supposed to be like angels, but I kind of think they look like fairies on the cover, being, drawn into this candle that has evil written on it there, and just the crazy mask on here, the crazy color scheme, the 4-pack of Crayola, that Drew at Como Comics always says with LB Cole. Definitely, this book epitomizes that. But I love this cover. This one just always speaks to me, just pops, and was very happy to be able to pick up this very nice, presentable copy, a 3.0, off-white pages, LB Cole cover and art, and the classic cover designation. Definitely one of my favorite pickups this year. All right, now this was a very recent one, and this was not intended to be a book that I was going to have in my PC, and I don't know, maybe it won't stay as long, but this is another one that when I got it in person, it really grew on me. And so this is Mr. Mystery #12, another one that I don't believe I've shown this on the channel yet. So this is a Bernard Bailey cover. Bernard Bailey, I generally like him as a cover artist for his work in the pre-code horror era. He has tons of great covers. This one, it's a 2.5, and the flaw on it is missing a piece missing out of page 1 slightly affects story. And that's why this book is incredible presenting. But it's got a 2.5. I'm guessing it's most likely because of that missing piece on the interior, because man, this one, colors are amazing, presentation is amazing. This is the type of book you want to get, in like the lower grade that just presents really, really well. Just very awesome presenting book. But it's the whatever this is, like something flying towards this guy's eye. Bernard Bailey is always very good at drawing facial expressions. He does a lot of close-ups of faces, and you get lots of these crazy types of covers like that. And so this is definitely one of his biggest ones that's out there, and was very happy to pick this one up. And yeah, like I said, when I got it in person, I was just like, this one is really nice. I really like this one. So I decided to add it to the PC, the keeper list for now. So Mr. Mystery #12 by Bernard Bailey. All right, so I've got I showed the Phantom Lady 17 up there. I also added a Phantom Lady #23. And so this is basically like the Jack Kamen equivalent of Phantom Lady 17. It's got the Phantom Lady bondage type cover on the cover there. This is a 5.5 white pages copy. So cool to get a white pages copy of this book, from 1949. And just one of these classic Good Girl art covers. Colors really, really pop on this copy. Usually the white pages help with that, but it's not always a guarantee. But colors really pop on this copy, so cool one to add to the collection. All right, now I said that there were 4 books that I wanted from Gus Rica. One of them was that Dynamic 8. I already had the Punch 12. I already had the Dynamic 11. The last one that I needed was Punch Comics #9, and I finally was able to grab a copy right here. So Punch Comics #9, another just crazy cover by Gus Rica, where you've got what I'm guessing is like a police sketch artist, and then the spy ring that he's drawing have murdered him on the cover in many ways. He's been shot, stabbed, hung, beaten with this like billy club thing. Just a brutal cover, which, that's one of the things that really sells these. This is 1944. It's very early. It's not really like a pre-code horror cover. It's more like a crime cover, which is a lot more what these types of books were associated with. Like Punch 12 is really more of a crime cover, even though it has the giant skull on it. This is the last one I needed. Picked it up on Instagram, of all places, from Grail Keeper's Keys. He always has some really cool stuff. But yeah, was very happy to be able to pick up a nice presenting copy, a 3.5, off-white pages. Again, the black backgrounds. I mean, you see like certain things that I just tend to really like that draw me in, and just something about those black backgrounds really make all the other colors pop, and I tend to gravitate towards those. But Punch Comics number 9, the fourth and final book that I wanted to get that was done by Gus Rica. All right, we've got 2 more comics left, and then 2 things that are kind of comics. So another black background book, just a wild cover, and one that I am seriously considering having pressed and resubmitted. Not sure. It's just, there's a risk there, but it feels like it might be worth it. So this is Harvey Comics Library number 1. What a lot of people might accidentally call Teenage Dope Slaves, but that is not actually the title of this book. So you can see on the little label there, Harvey Comics Library number 1. This is a 7.0, which is a very nice grade for this book. Was happy to pick that up. You can see here, it has this, it actually is a spine roll. Sometimes these are miswraps, but on this one, you can tell it is a pretty clear spine roll on this book. And so I was surprised to see that hadn't been fixed, because the staples look really good. Like the staples look really, really secure. It has off-white to white pages, so really nice page quality. So things that you would typically take advantage of to get that book, that wrap fixed, even if it just retains the same grade, just for presentation purposes. That's one of the big reasons I've been thinking about it, just to kind of move that white to the back of the cover, so you have that a little more clean, like black background image on the front. But just an insane cover. This is from 1952. This kid, he wants his drugs, and the drug dealers tell him he's got to pay up. He's not just gonna loan them to him. But so Teenage Dope Slaves, Harvey Comics Library number 1, just a wild cover. All right. Now there are some books that I have had multiple copies of that I just keep upgrading over the years, and this was my upgrade that I got of this book this year. This is Underworld Crime number 7. And this is a 6.0. It is slightly brittle pages. The highest grade you can get with slightly brittle is a 6.5. I honestly feel like this book should have gotten a 6.5. Like, this is a stunning copy. It's not just that the colors are incredible. The other big thing with this one is this is a extremely square copy. Everything is square, and the cuts are good. Like, all the pages are cut real cleanly. One of the things you'll see, like I've seen with a number of copies of this book, is they often are kind of out of alignment and have some weird cuts on the cover. This one is incredible. And so this is an upgrade to my 5.5. So I had a 5.5. I think before that I had a 3 or a 3.5, then upgraded to a 5.5. Now I've upgraded to a 6. So this was a cool book to add this year to the collection, to get one of those upgrades for one of those books that I always really like. And part of the thing that I like about this book is that it is just, I think it's like the face of the woman on the cover, just the way that the lighting is done. It's just so well done. It's unfortunate that it's not known who did the cover here, but I think the lighting is just incredible. Just the kind of like the look in this guy's eyes as he's looking back to the guy that's tied up in the corner. This one is so well done. You get a feeling for what's going on from that cover without even having any words on there. So this one I really, really like, and was happy to upgrade it this year. All right, now the last 2. I briefly showed one of these on my live stream, I think, but I haven't shown both of them, so I figured I'll show both of them. So I thought these were really cool to be able to pick up. I tried to get one other one, but I wasn't able to. It went above my my bid. But what these are bound file copies owned by Al Feldstein. So these are Al Feldstein's personal, bound file copies for issues 1 through 12 of Crime Suspense Stories and issues 1 through 12 of Shock Suspense Stories. And I tried to get the issues 13 through 24 of Crime Suspense Stories, which obviously has some of the massive books in there, like Crime Suspense Stories 22. This went a little above what I wanted to pay for it. But these are very nice presenting copies. And here you can see on the interior, it says this book is from the private library of Al Feldstein. And I found there were other similar books that have sold on like Heritage before, and they all look exactly the same. And this is his signature on the inside of each of these. And they are different. It's not like it's a stamp or anything like that. And you can see on the inside, I'm not going to flip through all of them. I mean, they're bound well, but I don't want to risk damaging anything. But just to kind of show you to get an idea here. So here's like Crime Suspense Stories #1, and they're trimmed, like is what is normally the case with these. They are trimmed, but they are very solid presenting trimmed copies, very clean. And you just, it's all the first 12 issues. Let's see if I can find another one here. Just a few examples. So here's just another one here. So yeah, so I thought this was really, really cool to be able to get, just because, something owned by L. Feldstein, signed by him, his personal file copies. And then, of course, so that was Crime Suspense Stories, and then we also have here Shock Suspense Stories. So I'll show the first cover for that one. So here's Shock Suspense Stories #1. Again, similar condition, but this one there is a little wormhole damage on the last issue there that's on the bottom. It just creeped in a little bit, but that is there, so a little bit more damage to this one. But this has one of the really, the big books in it. Let's find it here. So Shock Suspense Stories 6 is a Wally Wood cover, one of the most well-known pre-code horror books, and that's this one right here, Shock Suspense Stories #6. So there's some pretty big books that are bound in this as well. So I picked up, he said these are the last two. I picked up these two bound volumes of Shock Suspense Stories and Crime Suspense Stories. So I thought those were pretty awesome. So those are the 15, 13 comics, these bound volumes, which each have 12 books in them. Then the other thing, like I said before, was the original art that I picked up, but didn't want to drag that one here. But hopefully you enjoyed this. Saw some books that maybe you haven't seen before. Showed a couple books that I haven't showed on the channel as well. Let me know in the comments, what books did you pick up this year? Did you add to your PC? Let me know in the comments, and I will see you on the next one.